अच्छा,
पीरियड में 9 मंथ के दौरान।
ओके, तो ये हम लॉयर से जानना चाहेंगे। यस,
See, that's a very good and a very important question. And his question also covers the previous question of public administration.
Right.
The government sector is governed by the pay commissions, most of the corporations and the government sector. They are at the moment given about 6 months of maternity leave. Apart from this, there is also 2 years of child care leave that is given. Whereas the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, this is more from the private sector, where there are about 10 or more employees, and as per this act, there is only 12 weeks of maternity leave. So definitely the government sector has got many more privileges, and they are mandatorily supposed to be given 6 months of maternity leave. Earlier it was 135 days, but then it was changed to 180 days. And apart from this, they can also get their annual leave, casual leave, privilege leave, sick leave. So these are the benefits that women in the government sector are entitled to, and women in the private sector would get leave as per the Maternity Benefit Act, and as per the Shops and Establishments Act, if they are employed in shops and establishments. If they are employed in factories, they'll be given leave as per the Factories Act. If they are in the construction sector, they'll be given leave as per the Building and Construction Workers Act. All these private sectors have got lesser leaves as compared to the government
setup. Right. Okay, now Dr. Sagar, now let's just take this discussion on the other side a little. Now there are a lot many sectors in our country where the employees are women. Most employees are women. Now these women, at a given point of time, some of them would be in that process where they have conceived, they are pregnant, so all these things will go with them. So which means that in case if they are off for that much of for that period, somebody else would be doing their work. Either, as she said, I don't know how many of them really hire other people. Most of the employers give this burden to the people who are already employed there. Now, do you think that some incentive should be given to these people, or how can this really be taken care of? Because on the one hand it may sound very nice, but what about the people who are going to be shouldering those responsibilities?
Yeah, I think you have brought up a very, very valid point. That is what we felt when the CCM was introduced, this child care leave. So, like I was in a government setup with lots of doctors and sisters. Everybody rushed for that 2 years when their child was 16 years. So now they have the last 2 years. So they must take complete 2 years.
Correct.
And suddenly if we found that doctor, sister and maybe clerks and everybody is taking leave, who's going to do the work? And we don't get a replacement. In government setup, no replacement. So how does the work go on? How do you manage the services?
True.
Either the people who are supposed, the public who is supposed to get the services in a hospital, how are the patients managed? If there is a staff crunch, you can't help it. So another 2 months of maternity leave, very welcome, if you can give us the substitutes. Whatever type of substitute, it could be a locum sort of a thing, like you have a contractual worker for 8 months, we are very happy. We get another helping hand, a doctor or a nurse or whatever. Let them take more than 8 months then. And actually provisions were there earlier also, 6 months maternity leave, and you could always extend that leave without any question. Nobody will ask you why you are extending the leave. Your child is not well, you are not well, or you don't have any support, or you just want to have a leave, you can apply, you will get it. Whatever leave is due to you. Now if you increase it by 2 months, whether you need it or not, you take it. So whether you sit at home, whether you go and enjoy outside, whether you take care of child, who's bothered? So if you need it, you take it, government gives you. If you don't need it, why not come and work? That is what my personal thing is.
All right. Well, let's see what Dr. Reena would have to say here.
Just taking it a little forward, you see, this cannot be, taken forward in all sectors. Okay, there are certain types of activities, like medical activities, where there is one cardiologist, you can possibly have another cardiologist, or one nurse, you can have another nurse. But when you are doing cancer research, and you can't say, okay, somebody else is employed for cancer research, research, development, industry, which is very specific to certain type of work, and for example, a mechanical engineer who is doing a drilling activity, in GC in the wells, I mean, his experience is the main thing. You cannot substitute with another person, and such a expertise you will not get from the market so quickly. So that is one of the factors that in industry, to find a replacement for women in such a situation is extremely difficult. extremely. Banking sector, it still works to some
Right,
extent,
right.
you know, but banking sector has actually, banking and IT enabled services, I think women have done extremely well, both in terms of the recruitment, their career, the options, they are very well represented. Even the foreign commercial banks, you have more than 58% of women executives, you know, so they're not really worried because they operate from home.
That's right.
Or whichever situation they are in. And even if during the delivery prior, you know, take leave and then they operate from home, they are in a position to take care of home. Otherwise, no, I left when my second child was barely 5 months old, and I left and I went for my second PhD to France, and I was away for 3 years, and I came home.
Right.
And left with my parents. As you said, our support system is such a wonderful thing that I in any case will feel more comfortable living with my parents than living in the creche, for example.
Right.
But it's not always possible, you know, it's going to be so difficult. So support services for women in the system is probably the first priority which the government should do in all the government departments, government offices, corporation, enterprises, state enterprises. This is the minimum infrastructure which they can create, and this will be the one facility which probably today women are, you know, paying for it and coming to work outside creche. I know young girls have come to work with me, and they are leaving the, you know, child is hardly 4-5 months old, leave and come back, and I salute how these women manage leaving the child and come back home, and in the evening when they go back, I mean it's fairly late.
Yes.
School is only for a short period of time, but if from school it goes to the daycare on its own, and then they, either father or the mother, they pick up late in the evening when they go back home. So it's quite a you know, difficult, tiring life, and they are managing somehow. But it's in spite of the fact that your infrastructure support system for women is weak here. So we need to really create those systems here and make things easier. There are lots of women who have not been able to take on their recruitment, their jobs, only because the support system wasn't there.
Absolutely.
Because the parents are not there, the support system is not there. It happened in my
the
own
creches
company.
are in such a shabby state that they
Yes.
just would not put their kids there.
Yes.
Well, we have a viewer from Delhi. This is Gaurav Kohli. So Gaurav, welcome to the show.
हाँ जी नमस्कार मैम। सबसे
जी।
पहले तो आप बधाई के पात्र हैं कि आप बहुत ही अच्छे विषयों को आप इसमें लोकसभा टीवी पर लेकर आते हैं, और लोकसभा की पूरी टीम, लोकसभा टेलीविजन की पूरी टीम बधाई की पात्र है इसके लिए, जो बहुत ही अच्छे मुद्दों को लेकर आई है। मतलब मैं इसको काफी टाइम से देख रहा हूँ, 2-2.5 साल से। इससे ना केवल जानकारी बढ़ती है, बल्कि एक समाज के अंदर उसका एक काफी हद तक प्रसार भी हो पाता है। और एंकर साहब जो है वो बहुत ही बढ़िया तरीके से इसको कंडक्ट करते हैं, और मैंने देखा है हमेशा ही बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपर्ट्स को बुला के वो इसकी चर्चा करते हैं।
थैंक यू सो मच। अब आप मुझे बताइए आपका सवाल
हाँ
है।
जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन मैडम सिर्फ इतना सा है कि अभी 8 महीने की जो बात चल रही है, ये बहुत जरूरी है किसी भी एक लेडी के लिए। अगर हम एक समाज चाहते हैं जो कि एक अच्छे से बिल्ड हो सके, अगर उसका बच्चा 8 महीने तक माँ के पास नहीं रहेगा, तो साइकोलॉजिस्ट से अगर किसी से हम पूछे तो साइकोलॉजिस्ट भी कहते हैं कि जो बच्चे का ब्रेन का जो डेवलपमेंट होती है वो सिर्फ 2 साल तक होती है। बल्कि मैं तो ये कहना चाहूंगा कि अनपेड लीव 8 मंथ्स तक तो पेड लीव है, अनपेड लीव देके 2 साल तक देना चाहिए। रही प्रोफेशनल वुमेन्स की बात, तो कोई भी प्रोफेशनल वुमेन जबरदस्ती घर पे बैठना कोई भी पसंद नहीं करती है। कोई भी प्रोफेशनल वुमेन जो रहेंगी, जिनको अपने कैरियर की चिंता है या जिनको मतलब अपने प्रोफेशन से रिलेटेड अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज के बारे में जानकारी है, वो कभी भी घर पे बैठ के अपना समय यूं ही व्यतीत करना नहीं पसंद करेंगी। परंतु इसमें यहाँ पर एक जो सबसे मेन चीज है, गवर्नमेंट के एम्प्लॉइज को तो ये बेनिफिट्स मिल जाता है बहुत इजीली, और एक्सरसाइज भी कर लेते हैं। प्राइवेट में जैसे अभी आपने जो आपके यहाँ पर बैठी हुई है, उन्होंने अपनी व्यथा बताई, वैसे कई प्राइवेट सेक्टर के अंदर अच्छी जॉब्स पे भी ये प्रॉब्लम चल रही है। परंतु अगर हम बिल्कुल नीचे तबके पे देखें, जो हमारे घर में